Party people! Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I am your host, as always, Jeff Stormer. We are coming to you live this week from Redcap's Corner, that's 3850 Lancaster Avenue in the greatest city on Earth, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yay! Go Eagles!
We are here. This is part of the Philadelphia Podcast Festival 2018, a wonderful collection of live podcasts happening all over the city. It is one of my favorite events of the year. I have been looking forward to this all year, and I am so happy because this week I am joined once again by my friend and yours, Mr. Vegas Lancaster. Vegas, thank you so much for coming to Party of One.
Hey Jeff, thanks for having me back on again. I love this show.
Thank you. I love your work as well. So why don't you, at the top of the show, let our lovely audience know any of the projects that you're working on, anything you might want them to know about.
Cool. So here in Philly, the first Friday of every month, I do my show Cat and Vegas in the Temple of Boom, which is a musical improv comedy duo. We make up songs based on audience suggestions, and that's at the Comedy Showgates with Joe Gates at Latage. That's the first Friday of every month. And then other Fridays, I'm down the street from here at the Philly Improv Theater, performing with the N Crowd. So if you want comedy on a Friday in Philadelphia, look for me.
That's the guy to look for. This week, we are playing a live version of Ben Robbins' Follow. Follow is a game about people on a quest. It is a game about fellowships and journeys. We are going to accomplish a goal together, or we might fail. It really depends on how things shake out. But because this is a live show, and because Follow, the way it works, the way the rules work is you draw stones out of a bag. The color of the stones indicates a success or failure. But because it's a live show, I've got candy. I don't know if our audience likes candy, but I have candy. We have here, because they are identical in size and indistinguishable when placed into this opaque pencil bag, I have Crackles and Hershey's. And now, we're going to have to turn to the audience here, because there's a disagreement between Vegas and I as to which is the correct.
So disagreement.
One of these will represent a positive outcome. One of these will be our white stone, and the other one will be our red stone, which is a negative outcome. Which candy is... I'm going to ask by show of hands or round of applause, who thinks Crackle is the better candy? And who is in favor of Hershey's plain milk chocolate? We have one.
Could you at least clap louder?
We have, from a 2-1, thank you for leaning into the microphone for the clap. We have from a 2-1 majority. We're going Crackle as that's the correct answer. Let's be real. Vegas, you are, our friendship is shaken right now. This is a test, and we're going to get through it together, but this is a test.
It's not even the best chocolate with fried rice inside of it.
It's not, but it's still better than plain Hershey's chocolate. You know what? We're getting ahead of ourselves, because we have a game to play. Now, Follow is designed to play with no prep. It is designed to play with... it can play with 2 more people. It's designed to play with absolutely no prep. We are going to tell everything about the story right off the bat. The first thing we are going to do is decide on our quest. We have a list of quests that I will read, as well as some bonus quests. We have the booty, which we can get the treasure and get away. The posse, bring the outlaw back for trial. The candidate, get our candidate elected. The raid, destroy the target. We can build a colony. We can launch a rebellion. Cure a disease, put on a show, slay the dragon, defend our city, launch a heist, or form a superhero team. We can also, because we have some extras, build a bomb, change the world with an invention, win the big game, make the mortals worship us, change society, or win control of our turf. Vegas, what jumps out to you as our quest?
I like the turf.
I'm kind of feeling the turf as well. I like that a lot. All right, so we have the turf. The turf belongs to whomever is strong enough to take and hold it, and that's going to be us. We are a gang or syndicate fighting for our territory. So, who are we? Are we a gang or criminal business? Are we just local kids? What is our backstory here? Are we newsies? are we the Jets?
I would. So
Is this modern day, historical, sci-fi, fantasy? What are you thinking?
My impulse was that we are ants, which is what I think of when I think of battles for turf.
All right.
I don't know how useful that is for role-playing.
Nope.
Maybe a terrible idea.
Nope, that's what we're going with. Ants with a Z, specifically. We are sort of the horrifying humanoid ants of the Ants franchise. You can have a franchise if you only have one movie, right?
Yeah.
Technically, I guess this is the second Ants in story being told, so I guess technically... All right, yeah, you know what? Yes, you've said it, and now we have to roll with it. This is a reboot of the film Ants, with a Z.
I'm sorry that it took 3 minutes for me to ruin this show.
We are ants. We are humanoid ants. Our turf is the colony. I'm gonna say a park. I think a city park.
Sure.
Is what we're trying to take over. Or at least, like, maybe it's the colony itself, and we're trying to overthrow the queen.
What? That's not how ants think.
You're right. We are in service of the queen, who is perfect and beautiful, and we are going to claim, I don't know, the sandbox.
Yeah.
The playground.
There we go.
Done. And our rival is... Who's our rival? Is it another colony of ants? Is it children?
People.
Is it people?
I mean, other ant colonies, obviously awful.
Right.
Humans, also terrible. Those are the two worst enemies of ants I can think of.
All right, we've got our two enemies. We're going to go with both. What makes our quest difficult? Is it the people don't want us here? The law is gunning for us? Our ranks are thin? Our reputation is weak? Our rivals are stronger? Or we're outsiders?
I like our reputation is weak, even though that makes no sense.
Okay, so what that says to me is that we are not like fire ants or like ants that bite. We're sort of harmless.
Nah, we're odorous house ants.
Just sort of being collected. Like, I think we get collected I think a lot of our ranks have been collected and put into ant colonies because we're cute and harmless.
Yeah.
A lot of moving around single grains of sand.
Yeah, we're real pathetic ants.
All right, so we have our quest. We have what makes our quest difficult. What is the next phase of our game? Next, we decide on our fellowship. We've already decided that we are a colony of ants taking this. We're each going to make two characters. We have two index cards, a person. We're going to make a main character and a minor character. The way that we're going to do this is you're going to take an index card, fold it long way, and you're going to write want. Turn the card. Oh, I folded it the wrong way. It's supposed to be the other way.
We went hot dog. We should have gone hamburger.
Yes. They should have specified hot dog and hamburger in the book. You want to specify two things: want and a need. I will explain those in a moment. This is riveting audio for our listeners, and our audience is watching us fill out index cards. It's a good show. It's great. Thank you all so much for coming, by the way. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause, because you're good people. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is decide what your character wants. What are you looking to get out of success? What is your motivation? Is it respect? Is it glory and fame? Is it wealth, power, redemption, revenge? I kind of like it being wealth. For me, well, and they're different answers for both of us. And I think I'm going to go with wealth, because I think that if it's a playground sandbox, I think that there is a lot of candy that has been dropped there. Appropriate, because we have candy.
Gotcha.
I'm looking to collect candy.
My want is glory to the queen.
Glory to the queen. Oh my god, I love that. That's very good. Okay, and what is your character's concept? I think if we're going with ants, I'm going to try and fan cast myself. I think I'm a Paul Rudd. I think I'm a very likable worker. Similar to is it Woody Allen is the lead character in Ants? It is. It's Woody. The audience has confirmed it is Woody Allen is the main character in Ants. I remember Sylvester Stallone, Woody Allen. So I think similar. I think in our Ants remake, I am a Paul Rudd-esque worker ant who's just trying to get by, with his likable charm and not trying to work too hard.
Gotcha. And my character's name is Sarge Ant. Yeah.
Really good. That's really good.
From the Soldier cast.
Yep.
And he's voiced by Dave Bautista.
Oh, that's very good. Damn, I could have gone with Dave Bautista. I am going to be, my name is going to be Puller, because I pull grains of sand, but they call me Paul. Paul Rudd, I feel like it's one of those characters where you're just named after the actor, because they didn't try too hard.
Yeah.
They kind of knew who they were going to cast in the role, so that's where we're going with that. Now you're going to decide on something that you need from me that I am unwilling to give you.
Yeah.
What do you need from me that I am not willing to give you?
I need you to fall in line and show some damned loyalty and organization.
That's very good. That's real good. And what I need from you, I need you... I need your respect. I want candy. Actually, I need you... Oh, and you know what? These are actually perfectly at odds with each other. I just need you to have fun and lay back and enjoy this.
Nice. This is turning out to be a real buddy cop comedy. This I feel like is already better than the original Ants. Yeah, Hollywood, if you're looking for idiots to write terrible screenplays.
Look no further than these two. Okay, and now we're going to create a minor character. Somebody connected to one of our main characters, but who is not central to the quest. A good example would be, so we've already mentioned the Queen, so would you like to have the Queen as your minor character, or should I put that as my minor character?
So the rulebook suggests you make your minor character closely connected to someone else's main character.
Then I'm going to make mine the Queen. My minor character is the Queen. As you want the Queen, you want glory for the Queen. I think I am going to play the Queen as played by... Oh, I think Kristen Wiig. I think a real neurotic queen, right?
Nice.
Queen that's real frazzled.
Yeah.
Kind of constantly dropping things. So I've been rewatching Cheers, and I'm picturing like an early Cheers Kirstie Alley, like right when she showed up, and she's just a mess.
Gotcha. As all of our listeners know, an important part of ant society, of course, is the ant pupas, which serve not only as future full-grown ants, but they're also the digestive element of an ant society. Ants' throats are too small to swallow solid food, so they bring it to the pupas to digest it and turn it into liquid to feed the adult ants. As we all know. That's, you know what? Here's the thing. I think we all expected to laugh today. I don't think any of us expected to learn. That's a double value right there. So my minor character is Paul's young pupa friend, played by Aziz Ansari.
Yep. That's fair. Oh, that's good casting.
And his name is Buddy.
Yep, that's his name. That's absolutely his name. All right. And so now we've set up our quest. We're ready to undertake our quest and conquer the playground. Oh, the tagline is definitely the playground is serious business.
Yep, it definitely is. Man, movies are easy to write.
No, wait. So what it is ants, take the playground. The tagline is just dig it. Just dig it, right? Right? That's just... Movies are easy to write, is the thing. Hollywood, you're listening to this. I know you're listening. Get at me, all right? At me on Twitter, Party of One Pod. You know where to get me. We're going to be big, Vegas. We're going to be very big. Okay, so now we are actually ready to play. What we're going to do is we're going to play through 3 challenges. These are significant things. The final task is what we must do to succeed. So that's going to be our final big set piece. However, there's going to be 2 things before that. We're going to play out a scene. We're going to decide on a course of action that will advance us towards our goal. And as those play out, we'll see how things go. We might lose some people along the way. We might make some significant gains along the way, but as we go to that third and final challenge, our invasion of the playground, we have to go through some challenges on the way. So would you like to pick the first challenge, or should I?
Why don't you, Jeff?
All right, I think the first challenge, we've already established that children are taking us and putting us in ant colonies because we're not very well respected. We're not dangerous. So I think our first challenge is a rescue mission.
Nice.
And I think Sergeant has to be the person to like rescue those ants, to launch that rescue mission.
Gotcha.
Why is this okay, so why this is difficult, obviously it's because it's inside. You have to get through a window, it's in a classroom.
Ugh.
You're gonna have to like, it's like almost a heist situation. We're gonna have to sneak into the classroom, knock over the ant colony, and that's glass, and I think people have been trying and it's just not gonna work. So that's why it's difficult, right? It's because you have to like actually navigate, and if they see you inside, at best you're getting stomped. At worst, they're gonna call an exterminator, and that's a whole different can of worms.
Yeah.
Glass case of ants, I guess, is more accurate. But
It's a whole glass case of ants.
so, and that's why it's difficult. I've chosen you, so you're gonna decide how to deal with this problem. You're going to set the scene. How long do we like? I mean, I guess how long in ant time in real time do we see this taking?
I mean, to travel from a playground to an indoor situation and back.
Oh, that's definitely like a Lord of the Rings montage.
Yeah,
There's a lot of overland travel shots, and then like, this is like a whole dungeon adventure of like getting inside here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, good. So we've got our long trek there, our dungeon crawl to get in, and a long trek out is our first challenge. Where do you want the scene to be? What is like the key thing that you want to zoom in on between? Are you taking Paul with you, or is it just Sergeant?
Oh, Paul's gotta come.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, I think Paul's been drafted into the soldiers and is doing a lot of like, I'm not a soldier, I'm just a worker. I'm just here to like hang out, y'all.
We're all soldiers.
You gotta relax. You know, you're coming at me at like a 10. I need you at like a solid 6.5. Can you give me a 6.5?
I don't do fractions.
Okay, fine. Let's round it down like a solid 6. So where are we? Set the scene for us as we go through. Where do you want in this? We've got our Lord of the Rings montage.
Yeah.
We've got our heist situation.
Yeah.
And our big run and our escape back home.
Right.
Where do you want to focus on as for our scene? Where do you want the scene to play out?
I think the most dramatic element is, can you get these ants out of this ant colony?
So, okay. Great. I love that. So I think the scene looks like, I think the scene is us getting into the ant colony and trying to knock it over.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've set the scene?
Enormous task.
Yes, it is a very elaborate task. Sergeant is there, Puller is there, all of the captive ants are there. I don't assume Buddy is there. I don't assume the Queen is there.
Yeah, they're probably relegated to remaining in the nest.
Okay, so start us off. Set the scene for us. What are we doing? What's the action look like?
Cool. So it is a dark classroom, lights dimmed.
Yeah.
Just a small crack in the concrete foundation of the school, which we're able to follow our way through.
Yep.
And we see the ant farm on a desk in the side of this classroom.
Yeah.
3, maybe 4 feet off the ground, which is an enormous amount of space in
that is sure
compared
is.
to an ant, and we see our old friends captive inside of this glass enclosure with no queen and no direction.
Ah, that's the worst. So we're on the outside. Or are we on the inside?
We're on the outside.
Okay, so I think when we start, what's Sergeant doing?
Sergeant is sizing up the situation and pounding on the a glass enclosure from the other side.
And I think Paul is just looking over the edge at this endless expanse downward to the tile floor below. And we're hearing, I think, the shuffling of footsteps in the hallway outside. And I'm looking over the cliff, and I'm looking at you. We gotta get out of here. People are coming.
We can't leave ants behind!
Okay, but unless you have a better option, I don't see how we get out of this. How do we get them out of here?
We gotta pull or push.
Pull or push? I mean, I'm a puller. I can pull. I assume you can pull or push. But 2 ants against this thing? I mean, I know we're strong.
Well, I can carry at least 10 times my body weight.
We all can. We're ants. But okay.
How many times do you think this ant farm is?
Probably at least 1,000. Look at it. It's. I mean, it's a skyscraper. Like, this thing is huge. Okay. I've got an idea. I don't think that we're going to be the people pushing this.
Go on.
And he walks over to the glass, and he puts one of his ant hands on the glass, and he just rests it there, and he says, "If you can hear me on the other side, I'm going to need you to push right now."
They can't. The glass blocks your pheromones.
Okay.
They can't smell you.
They can't smell, but I think they can see. Buddy, I know that you're trying to take the direct route, but I don't think it's going to work here. I need you to relax. I need you to breathe. And I need you to join me on the glass. Can you do that for me? And he puts his hand on the, he puts his hand... What is Sergeant doing? As I'm trying to, like, send a signal to the ants on the other side.
I'll also put my hand on the glass and follow your lead.
And I just start, like, whispering to myself, "Join me and push. Join me and push." And I think that's when we should pull?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's when we should do some play to see what happens. Do you think that they hear us?
Do I think the ants on the other side of this glass wall can actually hear us?
Yes.
No.
Okay. So, all right. So then, what is Sergeant doing when you see them just kind of like milling about?
Start yelling like, "Come on! This is your lives!"
Come, and I start pounding the glass as hard as I can. Because you know if you tap the glass, the person on the other side of that glass hears it 10 times louder.
Oh, that's true.
That's why they don't tell. That's why you know not to disturb cats.
Yeah.
So I start pounding on the glass.
Okay.
And I'm pounding and I'm pounding and I'm saying, "Please, please, Sergeant, get on the other side and push. Maybe if they feel it and they feel me vibrating and they feel you pushing."
All right, I'll get on the other side and try to push this ant farm over.
All right, so between the two of us, I think we're at a place where we can. End the scene.
And so how do we resolve the?
We come to
action?
finishing the challenge. The way this is going to work. We start with no candy in the pool. We take a crackle, which is a positive outcome, and a Hershey bar, which is a negative outcome.
Ridiculous, but go on.
We put them in the pool. We each take 2 Hershey's bars, 2 negative stones in hand. Close them in your hand so I cannot see them. Put them behind your back. If your main character is unhappy with the path the Fellowship has taken, hold 1 red stone. If your character wants the quest to fail, hold 2 red stones. Otherwise, hold no stones. Put your hand in front of you. Show me the stones. I hold no stones.
I hold 1.
Okay, you are unhappy with why are you unhappy with the path it has taken?
Oh, this is ridiculous.
Okay, fair. We now each take a good stone and an ill stone. A Hershey's and a crackle bar.
Okay.
We hold them in our back. We hold them behind our back.
And I put this other one back that I didn't use.
Yes. We have added 1 negative stone to our pool. As a player, do you think we have done what is necessary to succeed at the challenge? Hold white if yes, hold red if no. I have to... You can feel free to look and tell yourself which candy is which. Show the stone. I have shown a white. You have shown a Hershey's, I have shown a Crackle. We have now 2 positive and 3 negative in the pool.
I'm sorry, I'm being very negative here.
That's fine. I understand. I don't think we might. It's an ant colony. It's a lot, but I believe in the DreamWorks universe we're in. This would be what it would take to succeed.
That's true.
So we now place them in our party of 1 pencil bag. It's called that because it's blue. Everyone, it's blue, sort of the color of the podcast, but not quite. As it is your scene, your challenge, please reach inside 1 at a time and show the people the colors.
So I have drawn a good Hershey's.
That is a bad Hershey's.
A bad I forgot because it's so counterintuitive.
You have pulled one red. Red and white are the terminology for the stones. Okay, you have a red. Pull your other stone.
Uh-oh.
2 red. A character betrays the fellowship and is lost, and we lose the challenge.
Oh no!
That's not so we've failed to push over. We have failed to push over the ant colony.
Gotcha.
Because one of us has betrayed the other. Because we are the 2 characters in the scene.
Oh, this is a horrible start to this ant movie.
It sure is. Which one of us has turned heel?
I'll turn heel.
Okay.
I don't see how Paul Rudd could.
He's so likable. He's so wonderful. Really?
Yeah.
This one goes out to you, Paul Rudd. Okay, how do you betray the colony? How do you betray the colony and your best friend, Paul Rudd?
I say, I'm sorry about this puller, and the door opens, and a human walks in and grabs you with little tweezers and puts you into this ant farm.
No!
And then, with tweezers, hands me a tiny granular of sugar. And I scurry off.
Okay. All right. Well then, what has happened?
Our colony was doomed to fail.
It always was when you were in charge of the soldiers. We're gonna get out of this colony. We're gonna get to that playground. The golden age of the ant is coming. You are on the wrong side of history, my friend.
It looks like I've got all the sugar.
Does anybody want a tiny candy bar in our audience? There's also Hershey's if you would like a Hershey's. All right, fair. Okay, so now that your character has betrayed us, you are no longer playing Sergeant. Sergeant is now a non-player character, the face of the opposition. You get to make a new main character. You've lost your main character, so your minor character is promoted to be your main character.
Cool.
You don't have to fill out your want and need. You can think about it, as they have not been in a scene yet.
Yeah, so I'm now Buddy, an immobile ant pupa.
Good. Beautiful. Oh, I think I'm wearing you on my back like Yoda.
Okay, gotcha. You've got like an ant backpack, and I poke my little face out, and I'm like, hey, what's going on?
Buddy, it's a bad situation. Sergeant backstabbed us.
Oh, I knew I hated soldiers.
But it's okay.
They think they're so tough with their giant mouths.
So, I think our second challenge. You tell me, what's our next challenge?
So our next challenge, I guess, is rescuing ourselves.
Yeah, guess
from
it's escaping.
This ant farm situation.
Why is it difficult? Why is it more, in addition to just being in the ant colony? What have they done to make it more difficult that has been aided by Sergeant's betrayal?
So the the ants that are in the ant farm have been separated from the queen and the normal pheromones of the colony for so long that they've gone insane.
Yes, good. All right. So, and I think they're just like they're just sad and like motionless in that way that like ant colony ants are after a while, and it's just kind of stopped being fun, and we're just kind of in the back of the classroom, and we have to try and motivate. That's why the ants wouldn't get motivated earlier, is because they lost the will to live. Okay, so that's why it's difficult. I think we're both present. I think we are both present in the scene.
Yeah. I can't go anywhere without you.
And I think the scene is. Well, and I'm gonna guess that I'll take the lead on this one.
I think that's fair.
Because I think the scene is later in the movie. We've explored the colony a little bit. We've seen these sad ants. There's probably like I think we get a lot of like sad comedian actors, like a Eugene Merman.
Yeah.
Like a Bobcat Goldthwait.
Oh, Bobcat.
Like a Janine Garofalo, probably.
Yeah.
A lot of people good at being sad and kind of like lacking motivation. And we kind of have to like motivate. So I think we've skipped ahead in the movie like maybe 20 minutes. We've had some banter where we've tried maybe an escape attempt or two. Mm-hmm. And this is Paul Rudd's dramatic speech. Like out on this like thing with Buddy like over my shoulder like giving commentary.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's
hype manning you.
Maybe what it is actually. I'm gonna play out the scene just before that with our poll being the speech.
Okay.
Because I want Buddy to like have to hype me up.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because I think we're backstage and I think a crowd has gathered. There's a little dirt podium.
Yeah.
That's just been illustrated like a podium, but it's a dirt podium because it's dirt. Because it's an ant colony. And we're backstage. There's a backstage area. A lot of set pieces in this ant colony. We're backstage and I'm just pacing. Got Buddy on my back. And I'm like, this is crazy. This isn't gonna work. No one's gonna listen to me. I'm a nobody worker. I should have just stayed in the hill working for the queen. She's never gonna notice me now.
Paul, it's time for you to stop being so down on yourself. Look at yourself. You got 6 legs. You got antenna. You got compound eyes. To me, you've got a million things that I don't have. Freedom of movement.
I guess that's... But you know what I don't have is... I don't have a spine. Literally and metaphorically. I don't have a spine.
Well, you may not have a spine, but you have an exoskeleton and a non-circulatory goop on the inside. And that goop is what counts, Paul.
Do you really, Buddy, answer me one question and answer it me honestly. Do you really believe in me? Do you think we can do this? I mean, we tried with when I was on the outside and they didn't even budge. What makes you think they're gonna move now?
I mean, now you're in there with them. It's time for you to show them the way and lead the trail for them to blindly follow.
Do you believe in me, Buddy?
Paul, I ain't got no one else to believe in.
I like you, Buddy. I'm glad we're best friends.
I'm glad we're best friends too.
Can I have some regurgitated
Yeah, I'm
food
gonna
for good
vomit
luck?
into your mouth.
It's like on screen. It's some real gross out humor. I feel like Rotten Tomatoes score just dropped like 4 points, but it's fine. And so he steps on stage, and now we're ready to resolve our challenge.
All right.
So, we take a Crackle and a Hershey's. We put them in our pool. Crackle, once again, remains the positive result. We now take, two Hershey's bars. Mm-hmm. Take 2 Hershey's bars, hold them behind your back.
Okay.
If your unking character is unhappy about the path the Fellowship has taken, hold out one Hershey bar. If your main character wants the quest to fail, hold out 2 Hershey bars. Otherwise, hold out no Hershey bars.
Gotcha.
Hold out your hand when you're ready. Show your hand.
Oh, good.
We have shown no stones, no Hershey bars. We both believe in the mission, or at least in the Fellowship. Take a Crackle and a Hershey bar. You may look at them in your hand to decide which one you want to hold. Do you think we have done what is necessary? Hold Crackle if yes, Hershey if no. Hold it in front of you. I'm holding a Crackle.
Oh, I'm holding a Hershey.
Oh no!
I love the second act where you give a big speech to a bunch of weird depressed ants.
All right. We now place them in the bag, and I pull 2 candy bars. Come on, Crackle. We've got a Crackle. We got a Crackle. It's a positive result, which means we could still lose a character in the challenge, or we could win the challenge. We've got 2 Crackles. We have won. We did it. The speech. I take the stage. Crackles. Throwing candy to people is fun.
Yeah, that's what this podcast has been missing.
It has been. Future me, take note. Candy. And thank you, by the way, for not eating candy on mic.
Oh, yeah.
We would not be friends. We win, so I think I step out and I say, listen, I know it seems like all is lost. And I know it seems like we're well and truly zapped on this one. But there's more of us than there are of them. If we can get out of this prison that they've put us in, we can charge that playground. We can take down Sergeant and the betrayal and the children, and we can run this plague. We can run this sandbox. You know what? I heard legend. I heard a story, and I think we cut to the queen stressing, and then she stops and she looks at a picture, and it's of a full-size Twix bar that got dropped in the sandbox once upon a time. I heard tale. In that sandbox, in that playground, full-size candy bars.
What?
King-size candy bars.
King size?
Well, our colony has a queen, but you know what we don't have? A king-sized Milky Way.
Damn!
Thanks, buddy. I hope that your Bupas are ready to gorge themselves with sugar and water and probably pepperonis.
I'm gonna be puking into all your mouths!
It is Pizza Friday, and we are gonna knock down this ant colony. And I think...
Just so many pairs of legs clapping.
And I think we rush the wall, and it's the middle of class, and people are like, Miss Johansson, why is the ant colony shaking? And it just falls over, and swarms of ants start flocking, and it is suddenly a monster movie.
Yeah, kids are like screaming and jumping up on desks as
It's very-
just tons of ants
And we're just
run
seeing
across.
their legs, because it's very, like, Muppet Babies. They're very... Oh, it's real good. And, like, where the point of view's all distorted, so we're just seeing, like, tree trunk feet stomping.
Yeah, it's also the point in the movie where if you're watching it in 2D, it's obvious that this scene was meant to be watched in 3D.
Oh yeah. There's like feet coming at you and like kids fall. Like it looks so good in 3D though. Like it actually doesn't. I'm gonna take that back and say it looks a little overdone.
Yeah.
A little bit obnoxious.
Yeah.
So we come to our third and final challenge. I think it has to be just rush the playground.
Yeah. Time to take it back.
Why is it difficult?
Time to make playground great again.
Why is it difficult? I'll tell you. Sergeant's there. And he's got a contingent. He's enlisted another ant colony. Bodyguards. Real burly looking. This is where we get all of our other wrestler cameos.
Yeah.
So they're illustrated to look very much like the ants, but like as wrestlers. So like one of them is like a Roman Reigns in a vest. There's like a Triple H, and he's like got a little sledgehammer. There's a Rock, and like they look at him, and he looks like he's about to say something, but we couldn't afford the Rock. That's why we went with Dave Bautista. So he just kind of strikes a pose.
Who looks like the Rock?
And we just have to do. We have to do battle. I think the final consequence, the final staging, And I'm going to ask you to play Sergeant again. I know it's not in the rules.
Yeah.
But I think you have to play him again, because I think we have to have, like, our battle of Puller versus Sergeant.
Yeah.
With Buddy on his back. I think I am holding... What's something I could have found in a classroom that I could be holding? A bobby pin? I think I'm holding a bobby pin.
Sure.
Like Darth Maul's double lightsaber, I'm, like, spinning it in my hands.
Yeah.
What is Sergeant's weapon of choice? Is he just just pure fists?
He strikes a pose, and like his mandible ant jaws are like 3 times the size of Paul, and he's like, "These little ants couldn't take the playground over."
And okay, so the scene is we're just in battle, right? Like there's like a sandstorm all around us as ants are jumping in the ground, ants are fighting, kids are running, and we're just like circling each other like Star Trek.
Yeah. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, they've definitely licensed that music to be playing in the background.
Yeah.
It's a very deliberate reference, and it's just... You could have been part of this, Sergeant. You could have been here with all of us. But you backstabbed us.
You know what, Paul? Here's the thing.
It's Paul to my friends. You can call me Puller.
All right, Puller. I don't respect you.
I know. I've known it since the moment we met.
And I know how bad you want that respect. I could see it in your weird 100-directional eyes.
I've wanted your respect so badly, but you know what I want even more than that? And he takes the bobby pin and he rushes you, and he stops short, and he says, "I've wanted you to lay back and relax." And he jams the bobby pin in between your legs and like sweeps it, so you go tumbling back.
Nice.
What does he do in response?
He falls, and it's like he's real big, so he's falling down towards you, and just kind of is on his back with the all the legs flying in the air.
What's our real quick dialogue as we're doing like the movie wrestling, rolling around and punching each other?
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna put you down and crunch your face.
You never believed in the Queen.
Nah, this Queen couldn't lead us. It's time for soldiers to lead.
When soldiers lead, all is lost. And there's like a headbutt, and like we fall into a hole that another ant has dug, and we get one of those point of view shots of tumbling through a thing.
Yeah.
And I want to resolve the final challenge. I want to resolve the final challenge to determine which of the two of us comes out of this. With Buddy still on my back, it could be Buddy.
Sure.
Okay. Third and final challenge. We start with a Hershey and a Crackle. Hershey's good, or Hershey's bad, Crackle is good. In the pool. We each take 2 Hershey. Hershey's are bad. Take 2 Hershey's behind your back. Now, we haven't seen a lot of Buddy in this scene. Well, actually, yeah, we haven't seen a lot of Buddy in this scene.
Yeah.
But if he's unhappy about the path the Fellowship has taken, hold 1 stone. If he wants the quest to fail, hold 2 stones. Otherwise, hold 0. When you are ready, hold your hand in front of you. Show me what you got.
Yeah.
We got none. We got none. We each take a Hershey and a Crackle. As a player, do you think that it is Puller that comes out of that tunnel? If yes, hold a Crackle.
Do I think
no?
Narratively or biologically?
Up to you. Strictly up to you. Hold it in front of you. Show me what you got.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, narratively, it absolutely has to be him, right?
I mixed up the candy bars again for a second.
That's fair. It's fair. You have wrong opinions. That makes sense.
Pretty remove.
All right. I'm going to let you pull the stones here.
Okay.
Our first stone. It is a Hershey, which means by default our second stone is going to be a crackle.
Right.
So we have pulled a red and a white. I know exactly what happens, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Puller does not come out of the tunnel.
Yeah.
But the thing is, where is he? Where's Sergeant?
He's here.
Sergeant also does not come out. Do you know who comes out of the tunnel?
Who comes out?
Buddy the Pupus.
Yeah.
But he's not a Pupus anymore.
Oh!
Buddy, the full-sized ant.
I'm a grown-ass ant!
Crosses over a sand dune. And let's see our epilogue. Sees that beautiful, beautiful king-sized Twix bar jutting out of the sand like the 2001 obelisk?
Yeah, monolith.
Yeah. The statue from 2001. Now he's just standing there, and like a tear comes to his eye, and we fade into our epilogue. We each bravely describe our main character. For me, that is the queen. For you, that is Buddy, the full-sized ant.
Gotcha.
We each describe our life after the quest. We tell whether we feel our quest was worth it. We can stick to the immediate fallout or summarize the rest of their life. It's up to you. What happens to Buddy after what is the closing shot? What's Buddy up to now?
So Buddy's in like a big cavern full of pupa, and he's telling the story of how our colony defeated the rogue soldier ants, and he's got Sergeant's head like mounted on the wall, and he's
shit.
like, yeah, and then I cut it off with my grown-ass ant jaws, and he's telling all these pupas that, and they're like, ah!
And I think he says that, and I think the other half of the epilogue, the closing notes of our game, is he says that, and he's like, yeah, I did it. Did it all by myself. And it pans over to a window, and we see it's still in the sandbox. This is part of the colony. It peeks out, and there's just an elaborate sand statue of Paul, formerly known as Puller, standing shrugging, I think. Shrugging, and just like, eh. And it just says, lay back and relax. Life ain't so serious. Puller the ant. Credits roll. Smash Mouth plays. Because of course they do. And that is a wrap on Ants Take the Playground.
Oh, what a beautiful story.
What a beautiful story we told. Vegas, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Thank you, Jeff. Pleasure to be here
I'm gonna
again.
throw some candy to the crowd. Thank you all so much for coming.
Some Hershey's for you.
Thank you to the Philadelphia Podcast Society for hosting us. Thank you so much to friend of the show Kevin Gallagher for loaning me audio equipment that my laptop did not accept, that I feel very bad about, but I still very much appreciate you loaning me the equipment. Again, thank you so much to the crowd for coming out and dealing with technical issues. Thank you to Red Cap's Corner for hosting us. Thank you to the Podcast Festival, and if you're in Philadelphia, you should stop by and see some of these other amazing shows. There are going to be more shows this weekend. Everything is awesome. Full Belly Laughs, My Gay Agenda. What else is running? There's a bunch of other shows running next weekend that are all going to be very good. Go see those. They are at Tattooed Mom. They are at Amalgam Comics and Coffee House. They are at Philly Improv Theater, the Ruba Club. It is a wonderful festival. It is a wonderful show, a wonderful event. Podcasting Society is great. They do some wonderful work. They put on a lot. There's a lot of amazing podcasters in this city. And I guess that's it. So I guess if you want to, I guess I should do our normal closing stuff.
Yeah.
Vegas, where can people find you and your work online?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Vegas Lancaster. If you want to hear me on more podcasts, check out the Don't Split the Podcast Network, which has a whole bunch of different D&D and RPG podcasts. I'm a frequent guest on a lot of those, and a voice on their radio, comedy, like a, what do you call it, an old-fashioned radio play, but in fantasy world, I do a lot of voices on that show. Have Spellbook Will Travel.
Excellent. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I guess I'll throw it over to myself because I'm just going to do the outro now. So, if you'd like to find out more about Vegas's work, check out Don't Split the Pods. You can follow him on Twitter at Vegas Lancaster and follow Have Spellbook at Have Spellbook.
Yeah. It's havespellbook.com, I think.
And then on Twitter, I believe it is Have Spellbook, but you can find a link to that in the show notes. You can also follow us on Twitter at Party of One Pod, then like the show on Facebook at facebook.com/Party of One Podcast. Join our Discord community at bit.ly/Party of One Discord. Talk to us about the show, role-playing games, professional wrestling, pretty much all the things people talk about on a day-to-day basis. If you enjoyed the show, consider leaving us a nice iTunes review, a social media shout-out, or a word-of-mouth recommendation. All of those things help new listeners find the show, which helps us do bigger, better, and cooler things. You can also consider backing us on Patreon at patreon.com/Party of One Podcast. Patreon backers get access to mini podcasts, bonus materials, and interviews. And Patreon dollars help pay for hosting fees, equipment costs, stuff like live shows like the one that we are at right now. All of those good stuff is supported directly through the Patreon. If you enjoyed this show and you think, man, I just want to hear like 45 more minutes of Jeff every single week with one other guest doing D&D adjacent things, you should check out All My Fantasy Children. All My Fantasy Children is a character creation, storytelling, and world-building podcast powered by listener prompts. Every week we take a submission from a listener, we spin it into a fantasy story, and we populate a shared universe, one character at a time. You can find that at allmyfantasychildren.com. Party of One is, as always, produced by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. All music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Ran, featuring the D&D Sluggers. If you'd like to come on to the show, whether you are a podcaster, game designer, professional wrestler, financial guru, kaiju, a million other things that I'll say in jokes and other episodes that are technically accurate descriptions of other guests, you get the idea. You can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. That is it for me. Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to everybody for coming out and dealing with technical problems. You are all the greatest. Thank you so much to Vegas.
And if you want to know more about ants, check out the books by E.O. Wilson, the great entomologist.
Thank you to E.O. Wilson for teaching us about ants. As always, remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance. And until next time, party on, everybody.
Never gonna